I want to go see the escalator that tried to viciously attack the president this week. Have you been enjoying Trump's most ridiculous distraction from the Epstein files yet? The president claims he's the victim of a triple sabotage during his visit to the United Nations building in New York on Tuesday. The teleprompter wasn't working. There were issues with the sound system, and most nefariously of all, his escalator stopped. The UN says they think it was Trump.
Big thing. Trump, man. Trump, man. Trump had a good year, man. Trump survived an assassination attempt. Won the presidency again by winning the popular vote. Was just named Time Man of the Year. You know? It could happen to a nicer guy.
The most bizarre part of watching Donald Trump as president isn't even the circus itself. It's the audience pretending they're not in the middle of a freak show. Jimmy Kimmel points out that Trump wakes up every morning like a man who's never once read a newspaper but is somehow in charge of running one. Chris Rock adds that it's like putting the guy who once tried to sue an all-you-can-eat buffet in charge of the Department of Agriculture.
I did hear from one very special friend. Moments after we taped our show last night, the Mad Red Hatter wrote, "I can't believe ABC Fake News gave Jimmy Kimmel his job back." You can't believe they gave me my job back. I can't believe we gave you your job back.
We need. That's how Trump became president. That's exactly what happened. We got rid of bullies. A real bully showed up, and nobody knew how to handle it. The cast of The Apprentice is running the world. Trump, the daughter, Omarosa. They run the world, man. Yo, man. Crazy.
If you're enjoying this video, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon. The spectacle has never been about leadership. It's been about watching a man perform an endless audition for a role he already got, but still hasn't figured out. Trump loves the camera more than the Constitution, which is why he treats the Oval Office like it's just a poorly lit stage for his one-man reality show. He promised the country greatness, but what he delivered looks more like a blooper reel that got accidentally uploaded, and now nobody can find the delete button.
It says they think it was Trump's own videographer that accidentally kicked a safety mechanism, but Agatha Christie and his team of defective detectives, they do not believe it. They are on the case. This was not just a minor incident. This was a harrowing escape.
Trump and Melania were riding it up, and it just stopped.
Thankfully, the First Lady and the President had their hands on the rails.
Kimmel digs into the daily contradictions. Trump will stand in front of America one day insisting that the economy is booming, then complain the next that nobody appreciates how hard things are for him. It's like listening to someone brag about how rich they are while trying to get out of paying the dinner bill. Rock notes that Trump's idea of winning is announcing victories in fights nobody else even knew were happening. Every week, it's a new invisible enemy, a fresh imaginary triumph, and a longer list of people who wish they'd never met him.
And there's more. The White House was told by ABC that his show was canceled. No, they weren't. Something happened between then and now because his audience is gone and his talent was never there. We're right here, Jim. That I can't argue with. Shut the up. The freedom of speech is only for me.
The comedy writes itself when a man insists he's the smartest person in the room while constantly proving he doesn't even know what room he's in. Trump walks into global summits the way a guy crashes weddings, loud, out of place, and convinced everyone's thrilled to see him. But the difference is, weddings don't end in international embarrassment. World leaders used to dread nuclear standoffs. Now they dread the group photo where they have to stand next to him.
You know how many rapists are in my wallet right now? Swear, a cup of coffee in America costs 7 rapists. And Trump's gonna get it down to 3.
Kimmel zeroes in on the fact that Trump is still obsessed with crowd sizes. No other president has spent more time talking about how many people came to see him speak. It's the insecurity of a stand-up comic bombing on stage who can't believe the audience isn't laughing. Meanwhile, Chris Rock hammers home that the obsession makes sense. Trump treats America like one giant comedy club where he's the only one on the bill and hecklers get deported.
Escalator to be stopped. I go on escalators all the time. That's when I'm happiest, on an escalator.
Right. I'm going to say it could be a trap. You're going to say you're being wild and crazy. But that's what I have to be.
They've set mousetraps for the bear that is President Trump, and he walked through.
She walks on it, it stops, she turns around to the president, and she just leads the president up and walks. So she was unfazed by it. But this could have been a massive issue. And you know, the president being frozen there in one place makes him vulnerable.
Yeah. Unless he can walk.
Every decision he makes feels like it's based on whether he thinks the ratings will be high. That's not governing. That's programming late-night cable. And the joke is that the country is the unwilling guest star in the worst pilot ever produced. When crises hit, Trump doesn't strategize. He storyboards. Instead of policy, we get plot twists. Instead of solutions, we get cliffhangers. Instead of progress, we get reruns of the same tired act where he plays both hero and victim. Kimmel takes aim at the bizarre fixation on loyalty. Trump treats staff like contestants on a reality game show where the only prize is surviving another week in the White House. People don't get fired because they fail. He rails against the media while calling every reporter by name. He screams about fake news, but spends hours watching himself on TV. It's like someone loudly announcing they're on a diet while sneaking fries under the table. Trump can't stop consuming the very thing he claims is poison, because in reality, he's addicted to it. Then there's the endless bragging about wealth. Kimmel jabs that Trump talks about money the way kids brag about Pokemon cards, loudly, inaccurately, and in desperate need of validation.
Do not interrupt the president. Why would they want someone back who does so poorly, who's not funny, and who puts the network in jeopardy by playing 99% positive Democrat garbage? Who puts the network in jeopardy? You hear that? There's the threat again. This time straight from FCC Biscuit's mouth. He goes, he says, I think we're going to test ABC out on this. Let's see how we do. Last time I went after them, they gave me $16 million. This one sounds even more lucrative. A true bunch of losers. Only Donald Trump would try to prove he wasn't threatening ABC by threatening ABC.
Rock points out the irony of a self-proclaimed billionaire who's constantly begging for donations from people who can't afford a new toaster. Trump's financial genius apparently involves losing casinos, which is like burning water. Foreign policy becomes even funnier when filtered through Trump logic. He struts into meetings with world leaders like a man who thinks monopoly prepared him for geopolitics. He measures success not in treaties or peace agreements, but in whether he got the bigger chair at the table. Allies don't walk away reassured. They walk away wondering how America managed to elect a guy who confuses NATO with a hotel rewards program. Kimmel highlights how Trump constantly repeats the word strong, as if saying it enough times will make it true. Rock adds that if strength were measured in bankruptcies, lawsuits, and golf swings, then Trump would be Hercules. It's the only fitness plan where the core exercise is avoiding vegetables. Kimmel laughs that the presidential diet looks like a teenager's dream cheat day, while Rock observes that America is somehow being led by the only man who could turn a state dinner into a drive-thru.
A lot of people are scared. It's like, oh my God, he's going to be so undignified. And when I say a lot of people, I'm talking about the 9 New Yorkers that didn't vote for him, okay? No. People are like, he's going to be so undignified. It's the presidency of the United States. Dude, it's the...
The scandals aren't just numerous, they're repetitive in their stupidity. Every week brings a new headline that sounds like it was pitched in a Saturday Night Live writer's room. A president arguing with celebrities online, a president hawking merchandise from the Oval Office, a president using the government like a family-run gift shop. It's so absurd that parody struggles to keep up. By the time comedians write the jokes, Trump's already outdone them with his next stunt. What's tragic is how much the chaos has become normalized. But the one thing Trump has perfected is victimhood. No man has ever held so much power while complaining so much about how unfair everything is. He talks like the system is rigged against him, yet he's the one holding the keys to the system. It's like watching the referee suit up and then cry about biased officiating. The irony is so thick, you could build another failed casino out of it.
Menendez brothers getting out of jail. Menendez brothers. Yeah, getting out of jail. Just in time to get deported. Trump is gonna deport their ass, you murdering Mexicans. Trump is not playing, man. That's right. This time is totally different. He's working with the #1 African-American in the world, the richest African-American in the world, Elon Musk.
Kimmel and Rock tear apart the myth of Trump as a deal maker. The supposed master negotiator has walked away from more agreements than a bad Tinder date. His big deals are either half-finished, entirely imaginary, or wildly lopsided. He promises the art of the deal, but delivers the doodles of the deal. Every handshake photo is staged, every contract announcement inflated, and every victory claim crumbles the second anyone checks the fine print. Even his rallies are a parody of leadership. He doesn't speak to inspire, he speaks to hear himself. Kimmel compares it to a bad open mic night where the same jokes get recycled to a crowd that claps out of habit. Rock says it's like church without the morality, just endless chanting around the golden calf of Trump's ego. The supposed leader of the free world spends more time inventing playground taunts than solving real problems. Kimmel calls it presidential pettiness.
In the UK, or as he has to be reminded not to call it, the UCK, Paddington Unbearable is in England for an official visit with the royal family. Wait till he finds out tea time has nothing to do with golf. He's going to be very upset. The royals are expected to greet the president and first lady tomorrow, but some clever Brits are already rolling out, well, I wouldn't call it a red carpet exactly, but rather a King Kong-sized photo of Trump with his buddy John.
Rock calls it middle school with nuclear weapons. The economy under Trump is another comedy routine. He takes credit for rises he didn't create and blames others for drops he caused. It's like someone who crashes a borrowed car and insists it was already dented when they got it. His economic policy is less about math and more about mood swings. Investors don't watch the markets anymore. They watch his Twitter feed like gamblers eyeing a roulette wheel. Kimmel hammers the hypocrisy. Trump rails against corruption while surrounding himself with people who treat public office like a clearance sale. He condemns nepotism while giving his family government roles like their summer internships. He claims to drain swamps while filling them with bigger alligators. Rock points out that the only thing Trump has ever drained is his supporters' wallets. Even his approach to history is laughable. Climate change becomes comedy gold when filtered through Trump's logic. He dismisses science because it doesn't look good on TV. He'll point at a snowstorm as if that debunks decades of research. It's like seeing one penny on the ground and announcing you're rich.
You know, a lot of people are like, well, Trump is a bad person and he gonna get his. You know, some people never get theirs. Some people just fail up. You know, people are like, well, you know, what goes around comes around. No, it don't. Sometimes it just keeps going around. Ain't nothing gonna happen to Trump, man. Nothing.
Kimmel points out that Trump's environmental policy seems to boil down to keeping golf courses green. Rock jokes that the oceans could rise tomorrow and Trump would just build a taller podium. During the pandemic, the presidency looked less like leadership and more like a late-night infomercial. Trump treated the press room as if it were his personal studio, complete with props, dramatic pauses, and sales pitch theatrics. Instead of outlining policies, he hawked half-baked ideas as if they were miracle products you'd see at 2 a.m, sandwiched between blender ads and diet pills. He didn't sound like a commander-in-chief. He sounded like a game show host trying to stretch airtime until the prize wheel finally stopped spinning. The chaos wasn't just in the delivery, but in the complete disregard for reality. While experts scrambled to provide clarity, Trump seemed more focused on curating his brand than curbing a crisis. He spoke with the confidence of a man unveiling a secret formula. For him, even disaster was just another stage, another spotlight, another chance to make himself the headline.
They really put Kinko's to the test is especially timely because this trip he's taking was planned by the UK ambassador to Washington, a guy named Peter Mandelson, who was fired last week when they found out he wrote one of the letters in the Jeffrey Epstein birthday book, which means Pete will not be there for the visit he planned, which is too bad. He and Trump would have had a lot of gross things to talk about, I'm sure.
Kimmel skewers the absurdity by pointing out how surreal it felt watching a leader treat global panic like it was ratings week. Rock pushes further, mocking the way Trump leaned into performance over precision, making every appearance feel like a sketch comedy show where the laughs came not from punchlines, but from disbelief. The audience tuned in with dread, not anticipation, bracing for the next jaw-dropping detour into nonsense. It wasn't governance, it was improvisation, and the stakes weren't laughs, but lives. And yet, Trump strutted through the turmoil with the smugness of a man convinced his improvisation was genius. He mistook applause for approval, confusion for charisma, and outrage for engagement. The ongoing spectacle became its own brand of satire, proof that reality had outpaced parody. With Trump, the performance never slipped, because the performance was all there ever was.